Once I was broken, but you love my whole heart through. Sin has no hold on me, 'cause your grace holds me now. Healed and forgiven, look where my chains are now. Death has no hold on me, 'cause your grace holds me now. And your grace holds that ground. Your grace holds that ground. Is anybody else in love with that song from Hillsong? My whole heart. What up, royalty? What up, kings and queens and princes and princesses? What is going on? It's royalty back with another episode here to encourage God's people on tonight or morning or evening, wherever you are. Here to encourage you. I've been seeing a lot. There's a reason why I was singing that song in the beginning. That it has to do with this message that I'm going to talk about tonight, which is depression. Depression. There's so many people in the body of Christ that suffer from extreme depression, and it has a lot to do with some of the things that I was speaking about last night. Depression is serious. Like, it is serious. I mean, it can lead to suicide. It can lead to other issues within your own body. Like, depression is serious. You got like aches, pains. Oh man, I have a lot that I want to speak on this message, but I'm gonna try and make it as quick as possible. So where do I begin? I've just suffered from depression from years, because I was abused as a kid. So, I did suffer from depression for years and years. Like I told, reiterating what some of the things that I was speaking on last night, you guys, like, depression is real. Depression is very real. And I know a lot of us saints who are deep wanna, not me, because I've been through it, but a lot of those people who want to ignore it. You have those people in the church who want to ignore depression or just pray about it. It'll be okay. Sometimes if you pray about it, it's not okay. It's still not okay. You still struggling. I have on my crown, by the way, because I want you guys to know on tonight, you are royalty. But some of the things I have lived through with depression, chronic depression. We're not talking about I'm depressed for a month because my pizza fell on the floor. I'm depressed for a month because my dog died. I'm talking about chronic depression for years. I've suffered with extreme depression. I mean, to the point where I'd black out my windows in my home. I'd black out my windows in my home because I didn't want any light coming in. And I would literally sit in the bed for days, to the point, and it was so black, it was so dark, that my mattress, like when we moved out of the home, my mattress had mold on it. Like, it was getting no air and no light. I would literally sit in my room for days. I mean, just to come out and eat and go right back in. And I barely did that because you don't want to do anything when you're depressed. When you're seriously depressed, you don't want to do nothing but lay in your bed and die, basically. And there's a couple of times where I was even praying, God, take me up out of here. Like, this ain't cool. This ain't cool at all. And so, depression. So one of the, I'm I'm trying to think of what I want to say next, y'all. I need to get this together. I am. Don't judge me. I am. I'm gonna get this together. Let's see, depression. Oh, one of the things that I was depressed with and by was I was sexually abused. And at the time, you know, like I said, again, you know, reiterating some things that that I spoke about last night. You know, it was one of the traumas, one of the major traumas that I went through. And I did not feel it really at the time. I knew, you know, it bothered me, but not as I remember probably my hardest time was in my early 20s. My early 20s was probably the most difficult time with dealing with that, because a lot of time trauma don't, when you go through trauma when you 13, 14 years old, it don't hit you until you till later, till you figure out how screwed up it was. And so one of I struggled with that for a long time, and in my early 20s, it hit me hard. It hit me hard. To the point where I almost couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, why did that happen to me? What did I do? Why would he choose me? I have a sibling. Why didn't he choose my sibling? Like, why did he target me like that? And just, it makes you feel disgusting. So in my early 20s, you know, I started struggling with it again. I had this little point in my early childhood when I struggled with it, but then it came back in my early 20s. And, you know, God just, I mean, I wish I could tell you guys that dealing with depression, there are ways to deal with depression, but I'm telling you, nothing like his grace and his mercy. This thing started bothering me so bad that God had to send this prophetess to me to pray for me. And it went away. That was one of the miraculous healings that I encountered. She prayed for me. I went up there, I got prayer. This young, well, she wasn't young, this older woman who was awesome woman of God, came up and prayed for me, and she started saying, stop, she was just praying over me over the situation. And I had told her nothing, never met this woman before, never seen her afterwards. She was awesome. Woman of God, if you listen to this message, you are awesome. She prayed for me, and that day when I left that altar, I think I was on the floor and everything, y'all. Well, maybe, I don't know. It was some things that happened. But that was one of the miraculous healings that I encountered. And it did go away because of God's love, because of his grace and his mercy that he has for me, for us, for all of us. So that's number one. Develop a relationship with him where he can begin to deal with your heart, begin to deal with your mind, and begin to explain some of the things, begin to explain why some of these things happen to you. Most likely it's because to bring other people out, which is what I'm doing with you guys. You know, that was just one of the situations that caused me to be in depression for years. And it was like it was always something happening, always something traumatic going on in my life as a child. Y'all, I mean, I got stories for days. Y'all, we gonna get through this. We gonna get through this. And I still have days of depression, but it's not as often. You know, every now and then I want to lay up in my bed, do nothing, just sleep all day. You know, and this situation that I got out of recently, when I was telling y'all, you know, one of my videos, I was talking about this ministry, the ministry that I went to that just devastated me. I mean, that it was the biggest mistake of my life, going to this ministry. It was horrible. It was a really bad experience, but I know everybody ain't like that. Everybody ain't like that. you know, God can send beautiful people into your life, beautiful people into your life, and you know, show you His real love and what love is, and how to, you know, deal with life accordingly. So, but I